Let's call this the second coming of Kevin Windham's Supercross career. In its first incarnation, the Mississippi native was the kid with a world of talent and style, the next superstar of the sport. However, injuries and burnout left him on the outside looking in. Now, K-Dub is back, having fun again when he races and chasing the championship. 250 Supercross from San Francisco is next on ESPN2. To San Francisco, California, the city by the bay. We're in the shadows of the Bay Bridge at SBC Park for tonight's THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everybody. I'm Todd Harris. Well, a great night on hand of racing, especially if you like close battles. Chad Reed and Kevin Windham are going at it as we take a look at the road to Las Vegas, the official destination of Supercross. As we take a look at the THQ AMA standings, it is Chad Reed on top, then Kevin Windham and David Vuillemin in third, Mike LaRocco fourth, Michael Byrne rounds out the top five. As we flip over and take the THQ World Supercross GP standings, you can see Damon Huffman, the man who already has the title on top, Grant Langston, and then Tyler Evans. Welcome my partner Cameron Steele. Cameron, the battle is really raging on. It's Kevin Windham, it's Chad Reed. They go back and forth. Has it become a mental battle now?
Well, last week Kevin Windham's camp said it was all going to be mental. They were going to try to fall. They were going to try to put pressure on Reed. Maybe they did that. We saw Reed go down. He also said when I talked to Chad Reed that, you know what, he was thinking about running into Kevin Windham. He better not do that because of the way the AMAs watch him. He grabbed the binders. He went down. Kevin Windham ran a great race, but it's definitely coming down to where these guys are battling mentally.
No question about that. Earlier in the day, our Jamie Little caught up with second place standing rider right now, Kevin Windham. Here's what he had to say.
At this point in the season, Kevin Windham is down 23 points. He has 2 wins, but Kevin, the one thing you haven't been able to do is take home 2 wins in a row. If that happens here tonight, do you feel like it'll help your confidence a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. It's nice to be able to string them back-to-back, and that's what Chad has been able to do. And you know, I was real fortunate to be able to stop him at Anaheim 3 and make sure that he didn't win all 3 of the Anaheim rounds. I was excited about that. It's definitely time to string a couple together and get this momentum rolling in my favor.
Right now, do you feel like you're on track with your expectations coming into the season?
Well, other than the first round, which really didn't go the way I wanted to, you know, I've only finished first and second, which I think is a little bit extraordinary. And you know, typically I ride stronger at the later half of the season, so I think that I'm in a perfect position right now to just get stronger and stronger and make this thing a points battle.
You know, in the beginning, I mentioned that you're 23 points down. In actuality, you're 13 points down, but it's not a done deal yet. What is going on right now at the AMA?
Well, we are scheduled for the appeal February 10th. That's this coming Tuesday. I'll be flying up to Ohio to represent myself and, you know, give it to them through my eyes and in the helmet and actually relive the night and break it down, you know, shot by shot, both entering the corner and exiting the corner and the whole 9 yards. So I'm fairly optimistic that we can go in there and hopefully get our points back. I think they're very crucial at this point. I mean, the difference between 23 and 13 is unbelievable. And, you know, we'll just see how it goes. It's hard to speculate on how it'll go, but I am optimistic, and I think that I can give them a race view of what happened.
All right, there's a lot going on. Hey, one side or the other, the bottom line is it's exciting. Everybody's keeping it exciting. Kevin, everybody loves seeing you and Chad Reed out there mixing it up. So hopefully we're going to see the same kind of racing here tonight.
Thank you very much, Jamie. It is now time for the MX Unleashed track experience with TeamSolitaire.com writer Ryan Clark.
We're here at SBC Park. Let's take a look at the track. Coming into a rutted step up, step down with some whoops on it, grab a gear here, and drop back down and pop a little double, triple. It's a real tough rhythm section. You have a lot of options. There should be some passing here. Again, you click back down and then back up in gears again, jump this big triple in third gear and pin it right across the start. You see the mechanics there on the right. Take a look at your pit board into a left-hand 180-degree corner. Into these really rutted whoops. These are tough to stay up on top of. There should be some good passing here tonight. Another little option. Attack this triple. That's a second gear triple right there. You don't have quite as much speed coming in into another right-hander. You got to ride her down. the second set of rockers. These ones are a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper. Try and stay up on top of those two. Left hand, step on, step off. Back across the start straightaway. You're racing into that final turn. And you see the checkered flag, and that's the finish line. That is your MX Unleashed track experience.
250 heat number 1 staging on the line. As we take a look at our format tonight, we've got 2 heats, 2 semis, and then the LCQ. All to qualify 20 riders for the main event. They'll go 20 laps. Last year's winner, of course, Ricky Carmichael, who's out with injuries. Here at the park, taking it all in, but unfortunately not racing. As we take a look at our starting grid, Windham's here, as is Vuillemin. Damon Huffman, who leads the World Supercross GP standings. Nick Wade, a great rider on board the Suzuki, and Heath Voss and the rest of the crew. 20 riders here. We're only going 8 laps in the top 4 go to the main event. 5 through 20 go to semi 1. A lot of injuries, though, Cameron. We're not even halfway through the tour yet, and there's already riders that have had to drop out. Ricky Carmichael, the most notable. Then Tim Ferry, Ernesto Fonseca is also gone for the year. Daryl Hurley, Tortelli, and Pastrana.
Well, unlike a lot of different kinds of racing, there is no cage around the rider. You put your foot out, the knee can be a problem. Anything can happen. And, well, these guys are gladiators. And, well, we got some more gladiators on the line getting ready to do battle. These guys are in the house.
310 Zeb Armstrong running the all-dark gear tonight. Moves over SBC Park, and the 30 board is sideways. This is 250 heat number 1. Cameron coming in there, but it was just taken away by number 14. Kevin Windham picks up the lead, and he jumps out in front. Right behind him, Heath Voss, and then Mike Brown in third.
Voss made a good move in that first corner, but as he did that on Brown, it left the door open. Kevin Windham just snuck right on by. So we'll watch Windham and see how he copes with those cupped whoops. Those whoops are a little bit cupped, so it's hard to keep your line going. We'll see if he can play catch-up here with Windham, and going on board with Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark out of Corrales, New Mexico, on the Yamaha YZ250. Team Solitaire.com, Fly Racing, Yamaha, and KBC doing a great job for us out there on the track. Out in front here in heat number 1 of the 250 class, Kevin Windham, fresh off his victory last week in Anaheim, California, picking up a huge win. And right behind him is Heath Voss. You haven't seen Voss running this far up front for a while. He looks very fast, very smooth, trying to stay with number 14. And then Mike Brown, the guy who made the jump up from the 125 class. Brownie currently sitting in third, running his number on his jersey.
Voss came with an 11th place last week, so we know he's part of the fray, but we haven't seen him way up to the front. We also see the 64, that's James Polvoni Jr. coming into your picture, and also the Suzuki Sean Hamblin right there on the 36 bike. But right now, the Yamahas, oh, here we go with the move on the inside. Remember, folks, the dirt has a lot of rock in it. The roost is really going to hurt tonight, but the other thing, it's slippery. There's a little bit of gravel on the top, and these guys are battling out for what? Are they in the last transfer area right here?
Exactly. As we pointed out, only the top 4 go to the main event. 5 through 20 have to go to a semi and battle it out. And then for everyone else, there's an LCQ waiting for him. Kevin Windham continues to lead. There's Robbie Reynard right there. James Pavoni Jr. trying to get into the fray. And Robbie Reynard had some incredibly fast practice times today, but he comes up short right there. Cameron, what happened there? He missed a gear, and he was able to double that.
I don't think he actually missed a gear. I think his foot just kind of came off the outside peg while he's getting ready to go to the face of the triple. You don't want to jump weighted to one side. Got a Yamaha flying up here on the inside. Robbie Renard, his dad at Renard Modifications, builds his bikes, and the bikes go great. Robbie just needs to get a good run. You see the 27 Nick Way. Here comes Vuillemin, who got a bad start at the 20, or the 12 bike. Sorry, I almost threw the 22 for Chad Reed, but he'll be in the next heat.
No question about it. So it's Windham, Voss, and Brown, the top 3. Sean Hamblin moving up on that last lap. He sits in the final transfer spot. And then it's Nick Way, Reynard, Vuillemin, and Pavoni all in there. And I'll tell you what, if you're David Vuillemin, you're hearing the voice of David Bailey. He does not want his rider going to a semi-race. He's going to get up there and qualify right now. But right now, Sean Hamblin is holding down that 4th and final transfer position.
And Hamlin's been hurt off and on. He hasn't had a lot of good luck, but he has had the speed now and then. And watch the whoops. No one really going faster than anybody else there. Actually, Nick Way, wow, going outside, inside, get past. I wonder if Hamlin has a problem. He doubled that triple.
So your running order looks like this. It's Windham, Voss, Brown, and Hamblin. We'll step aside from San Francisco. When we come back, more of 250 heat number 1. Welcome back to San Francisco, California's SBC Park. This is 250 heat number 1. Your leader continues to be Kevin Windham, followed by Heath Voss and Mike Brown. But this is the battle for the 4th and final transfer position. There's Brownie, number 3, and there's Robbie Reynard, who had incredibly fast practice times, Cameron.
Not only that, he just had more than a second a lap faster time. Just, Brownie trying to squeeze the door on Reynard. So Robbie's had the lap times, and you can see the entry speed for Brown into the whoops, kind of throwing on the brakes a little bit. Reynard carries the speed much more, and some great lines from Reynard. If he can put this all together and get a good result from him, that would be quite a cool thing to see Robbie stepping it up.
Robbie Reynard just dropped that backward in the rut and just slingshot it out of there. Brownie had no answer for it. Now Brown's got his problems. He is starting to lose grip on 3rd place. He has lost grip on 3rd place. He is in 4th, the final transfer position, and right behind him, it's Nick Way and David Vuillemin, the Cobra, ready to strike.
The Cobra is the danger factor here, going on the inside of Nick Way, and you can just see carrying the momentum through the whoops. Even though he's dropping down in them, not able to totally skim the top. Look at him stick that berm, as you pointed out. Wheelie over that next obstacle. Man, he was stuck right in there. That was an awesome job by Robbie Reynard.
So Mike Brown is number 3 right there on board the Yamaha. David Vuillemin has now moved up behind him. He sits in 5th place. Does Brown. Vuillemin coming up quickly, and Nick Way also trying to join in on the party.
Well, these guys are pseudo teammates. Brown riding for the Boost Mobile Yamaha team, and David Vuillemin on the factory Yamaha team, so we won't see any rough riding or any, real close going there. And this is the last lap.
The final lap, 250, heat number 1. They're all battling out for the top 4 positions and an automatic transfer to the main event. And right now it is Windham, Reynard, and Brown who has slid back, but Vuillemin also trying to move up, and Wade trying to get in there.
Wyndham's only about 15 seconds ahead of 2nd place, Robbie Reynard right now, for those of you at home. Amazing job by Kevin Windham.
Kevin Windham out in front as he gets set to take the checkered flag. Windham will bring it around with a lap rider just in front of him. Your winner, 250 heat number 1, number 14, Kevin Windham. Now we go all the way back to the battle, and we'll watch the riders come through.
Oh, and a little bit of a slip up by Nick Way at a crucial moment. He had the underneath line on Mike Brown, but he just didn't have it. He slid out, and then he has a little mistake right there going towards the end, and he blew his own chance there at a transfer.
So Reynard gets 2nd, Vuillemin gets 3rd, and we've got a rider down back that looks like Sean Hamlin, so he's going to have to go to a semi-race, but it is Brown who holds on to the final transfer position. Unfortunate for Sean Hamlin. As we take a look at the official results, 250 heat number 1, it is Kevin Windham picking up the victory, followed by Robbie Reynard, David Vuillemin, and Mike Brown, all transferring to the main event. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie.
Kevin, you're the only rider out there running hand guards, and ironically enough, you're the only rider that didn't need them tonight. How is the track looking right now?
Well, the track's really good. They've done a great job with it here tonight. It does have a few pebbles on it, and got to protect my fingers, but hopefully I can get a good start and let this 450 just start throwing all the roost.
It's a reminder of Travis Pastrana when he used to be out here, guys.
This is 250 heat number 2 as we take a look at the starting grid. Chad Reed's here, as is Mike LaRocco, Michael Byrne, Grant Langston, and Ezra Lusk. Tyler Evans also in there. Let's talk about Grant Langston. Took a tumble in practice, Cameron. How do you think he's going to do tonight on this very difficult track?
Well, I can tell you, he came up short on the triple. He faced it, is what we call when you land on the upside. Sprung himself out into the whoop section, which is next to it. Taking a look at Chad Reed right there, I know that Lanks had a little bit of a cut, a sore wrist, and, well, the port sideways. Let's see how he's going to throw down.
250 heat number 2 from San Francisco, and look at this, right out of the gate, Burner just flies out to the front. Michael Byrne, that is.
And the number 8, Grant Langston on the factory.
Oh my.
Red Bull KTM. I guess that answers a couple questions. Michael Byrne on the Kawasaki number 26. He's had great speed. I'm looking forward to a battle here. Chad Reed in 4th place, Todd. That's going to be one he's got to work from.
Grant Langston just flies through that opening lap, comes a little short to the whoops, has to slow down. Michael Byrne, though, right on the left-hand side. And then it's Mike LaRocco, your top 3. Chad Reed sitting in 4th place, comfortably in a transfer position. He'll have something to say before this is done. And Reed goes to the inside line, but it is Grant Langston shaking up the cobwebs of that early accident. Michael Byrne in 2nd, Mike LaRocco in 3rd, and Chad Reed, look at this, Chad Reed bumping a little bit.
And Reed was the fastest rider in practice today. The track a little bit different right now. The best time of 47.6. And we're going to wait and see how those lap times come around after this lap, but we know Chad Reed has the speed, and we're watching this one rhythm section here. Watch when they thin out a little bit. We're watching for triple in there, and Langston, who's beat up, a little bit bruised, got a cut on his face. He's looking good, but Michael Byrne trying to hold speed in the whoops. You can see him dropping down, and Chad Reed definitely wasn't dropping. He was on the gas and carrying speed through the whoops.
There's Chad Reed to the left of your screen, number 22. Mike LaRocco starting to get pinched up just a little bit. And Mike LaRocco and Chad Reed, well, Chad makes a pass on Michael Byrne, so Reed moves into second place. I was about to say, you won't find Chad Reed and Mike LaRocco having sandwiches before the race together. They're not the best of friends, and they get together there on that first lap, and it was interesting to see if Mike LaRocco's going to come out and answer the bell, but Chad Reed has already distanced himself just a little bit, so Reed goes into second, sits right behind Grant Langston. It just shows you how international this sport is. South African rider, Australian rider, right there going 1 and 2, and Michael Byrne's right back in it.
The two Australian guys together. They had some racing in Australia together. And right now, tight look coming up behind him, though, the number 11, Mach 1, Yamaha Ezra Lusk, getting by.
Two Australians, a South African, and a lone American. Your top four, Ezra Lusk gets in there for just a moment. Chad Reed now back into second. Grant Langston having some problems, and look at Reed.
Chad Reed and the whoop section. These guys are synonymous. They are one person. Chad can handle the whoops so well.
Right now, let's check in quickly with Jamie Little.
You guys want to know what happened to Mike LaRocco? He and Tyler Evans got into it. Evans came into him. Evans now moves back, but he's on the charge now, looking to hunt down Mike LaRocco again.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. And Mike LaRocco has slid all the way back. It looks like the 7th place. So LaRocco's got his work cut out for him. Tyler Evans sits in 5th.
Oh, big get off. We talk about those whoops, how they're cupping. It's hard to keep your line, trying to keep it straight. And also, if you drop a wheel, that cupped edge. And Ezra Lusk viciously going over the handlebars, but getting right back up on the bike. We talk about these guys at the beginning of the show, how much they are gladiators. There are no cages around the motorcycles. Ezra, a testament to how tough they are.
So Ezra Lusk feels the wrath of the whoop section. Looks like he is no worse for the wear. As we take a look at it one more time, Ezra Lusk gets up close and personal in San Francisco. We're back in a moment. Welcome back to San Francisco, California, the city by the bay. It is now time for Honda's All Access as we take you behind the scenes in the pit area at SBC Park. Mother Nature cooperating, the riders, the fans, the spectators, everyone having a great time here in San Francisco. Right now, let's go back to Heat 2 action in the 250 class. Welcome back to San Francisco's SBC Park. We're right on the bay, and Chad Reed continues to lead this 250 heat number 2. 8 laps, top 4 going to the main event. It's Reed, then Langston. Michael Byrne sits in 3rd, and Tyler Evans now moving up to 4th place.
All right, Todd, does the mental game continue with Windham and Reed? Reed right now is putting down around 47-second lap times. Wyndham's fastest in his heat was a 46.2. That's considerably faster. But what I want to point out, in practice, Kevin Windham was 9th fastest. Is he sandbagging in practice?
Unbelievable. As we look at the battle for 4th place right now, Evans and Michael Byrne. And Michael Byrne was doing some great battling with Chad Reed just a few laps ago. Byrne currently sits in 3rd. I know Tyler Evans, he's not going to be happy sitting on the bubble in 4th.
Well, I'm surprised watching Tyler Evans. Last week, he had a crash. He broke his throttle housing. The bike was wide open. He wasn't able to continue riding it. He's had so many flashes of brilliance, but at the same time, he had a couple problems. I'm a little bit surprised to see him right up in the fray right away. I thought he might be a little bit more timid, but, you know, Tyler's like one of the guys that really is intense. You're not really sure what you're going to get from him, and right now, you're getting a great ride.
Well, as Jamie Little pointed out, he got together with Mike LaRocco. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the race is over. Meanwhile, Chad Reed, number 22, continues to lead on board that Yamaha YZ250. Yamaha Motor Corp Bridgestone-sponsored ride, in the Australian looking very good. Getting challenged early on, but Chad is a guy, and I know a lot of people have questioned his intensity or questioned his, I don't know, mental toughness because last week's incident with Kevin Windham and Windham being able to stick with him, but I still think Chad Reed is the smoothest guy out on the track, no question about it.
I would definitely agree with that. Right now we're into our final lap, but the one other thing about Chad is I think sometimes he gets a little bit bored. He likes the really, really technical tracks. I mean, he is the tech rider. This track is not a really technically challenging track except for the one rhythm section that we talked about, but the whoops are tough, and I think maybe that's given Chad something that gives him a little bit more of a push. He's excelling over the other riders. Watching him carry the speed through the whoops, that will be the key for Chad all night. Blitzing those whoops and staying within Kevin Windham's, or staying out of Kevin Windham's reach.
So Chad Reed has 2 more turns to go, and he will bring home a victory. And look at him charging all the way through, trying to log a fast lap time, giving him a better selection on the line. He picks up the victory with a nice whip for the fans here. His final lap time of 46.9, and as Cameron pointed out, Kevin Windham put out a 46.2. And there are your Heat 2 official results. Your winner, number 22, Chad Reed on board the Yamaha. Grant Langston gets second. Michael Byrne third, and Tyler Evans getting in there for the fourth and final transfer position. Right now, let's send it down to the track and Jamie Little.
Chad, I know everybody's out here watching RCs on the track watching, and Kevin Windham was watching you. You had to earn that one, though. How are you feeling?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't get the greatest jump off the gate, and I need to change that because this is a tight track, and it's really fast, and it's tough to pass on. And that's one of the things that I'll go back and work on, you know, with the guys, and maybe just change some little things and hopefully get a whole shot.
All right, keeping a positive attitude.
Well, this week it's Evans and LaRocco doing battle on the dirt. Next week, monster trucks invade SBC Park. Gravedigger and crew come to San Francisco, California. Folks, if you haven't seen one of these shows, it is definitely worth the price of admission. As for us, we are moving east. On February 14th, we'll be in Houston, Texas, Reliance Stadium, home to this year's Super Bowl. Then on the 21st, we'll go up to the frozen tundra of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the Metrodome. And on the 28th, we're swinging down south, Atlanta, Georgia, and the Georgia Dome. Should be a great stop. Hope you can join us. Right now, it's time for this week's Suzuki Question of the Week.
My question is, how do you bring in new sponsors for Supercross?
How we get our outside sponsors is we have to have a good team. I only can do so much riding the bike. That's why I have Scott here that's going out and trying to find outside sponsors.
And that takes a lot of work. You have to build proposals and videos, and you also have to solicit sponsors that you think see a value in our sport. And it's going to take a lot of work. You got to swing the bat several times to hit that home run. So thanks for asking the Suzuki Question of the Week.
Well, Sean Hamlin rides for Roger DeCoster. He looked very good, Cameron, in semi number 1. He edges out our helmet cam, Ryan Clark, and he picks up the victory.
In the second semi, a great start for Eric Vallejo. Unfortunately, sliding out, coming around, and he also took Mike LaRocco with him. LaRocco would get back up to qualify as the main. Craig Anderson will win that one.
In the LCQ, it was Damon Huffman who rocketed out from the start, picked up the whole shot and the checkered flag. As we take a look at your Thor qualifying results, your winner, Sean Hamlin, in semi number 1. Keith Johnson got second. In semi 2, it was Craig Anderson and Mike LaRocco, the top 2. And in the LCQ, Damon Huffman and Eric Vallejo. Coming up from San Francisco, it's the 250 main event. Kevin Windham and Chad Reed doing battle at SBC Park. Welcome back to San Francisco, California and SBC Park. This is the THQ AMA Supercross Series and the THQ World Supercross GP. A picture-perfect night tonight at the City by the Bay. 39,600 plus turned out to watch this, the 250 main event. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. As we take a look at number 43, that is Ryan Clark. He is running the helmet cam tonight, and he just so happens to be the subject of tonight's Nissan Rider Profile.
Originally, I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and started racing the circuit when I was 16, and I've been at it ever since, just making slow, steady progress every year. Now I think I'm sitting 7th in the THQ World points and like 16th in the AMA points this week, so hopefully improve on that as the season goes on. As the season goes back east, I'll fly out on Thursday, come back on Sunday, you know, do the race weekend, and then just train and ride during the week, work on developing the bike a little more, and just, you know, taking care of the day-to-day tasks of running the team, making phone calls, emails. It's not, there's not a day, you know, where I can actually sit down and really rest, but I don't know. I mean, that's life, right?
my ultimate goal, just like probably everybody else out here, is to win races, and just trying to put myself in a situation where I can have the best equipment, the best training during the week, and you know, get out there, be competitive, and just, you know, every year as time goes on, I get stronger, my bikes get better, you know, my support gets better, and just the overall program steps, you know, makes leaps and bounds each season. And I think persistence is going to pay off in this case, and ultimately I want to be up there battling for the lead, for the championship.
So Ryan Clark, a very busy man tonight in San Francisco, California. The Nissan rider profile, running the helmet cam, gave us a little look at the MX Unleashed track map. And we wish him the very best here in the 250 main event. Right now, let's check in trackside with Jamie Little.
Todd, just to give you an idea of what the riders are up against tonight, you know the track's looking perfect and everything from the camera angles? Check it out. Humongous rocks and even bricks are surfacing. So unless you're out front, I have 2 words for you: chest protector.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Well, San Francisco known as the Gold Rush area, and I don't think they ever mind anything quite that big. As we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid for the 250 main event from San Francisco, California, Kevin Windham logging the fastest time tonight. Chad Reed's right there. Robbie Reynard, who had a great run, Cameron, not only his heat race, but in practice.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing these 2 heat winners get together and battle it out. And well, Ryan Clark's going to give us some good shots from the onboard. And you know what? Basically, it's 250 main event time, and I'm just psyched and standing up.
So Cameron Steele's fired up, and I'm sure the Australian assassin Chad Reed is ready to go, running the new black helmet.
Going for a different look, and well,
here we go, Cameron. 34 minutes sideways, and we are racing. It's the low Kawasaki on the track that goes out to the front. Unbelievable. And then Michael Byrne, I don't think he's officially picked up the Butterfinger Holeshot, but Byrne looking very good. He is looking like he's going to check out with Grant Langston behind him and Robbie Reynard in 3rd.
Looked like it might have been the Craig Anderson bike. The number 30 was right up there in the fray. A couple Australians getting good starts, and we'll see what Grant Langston can do. Remember the crash earlier today, a sore wrist. He's got some marks on his face, but before the race, I was thinking Burner's been looking pretty good. Maybe we'll see a podium out of him. But our big dogs are working a little bit of overtime right now. Let's see if we can spot him. There's Reed and Windham right behind him.
So the green flag is out. Your leader, Michael Byrne. Grant Langston is in 2nd. Robbie Reynard, number 17, in 3rd. Mike LaRocco in 4th. And Clark is in 5th. We have got a great battle, folks. 20 riders going 20 laps. This is the main event. Here comes Grant Langston, wasting no time.
Grant is good at getting into the lines. And remember, Burner, a little bit newer. And Grant Langston going inside, but Byrne not giving up. We'll see who gets a run through the woods. And Grant dropping just a little bit, but he's still taking the line. And Byrne goes down. Now, let's talk about, you know, the AMA is watching closely on rough riding. But that looked like a case of the guys just kind of getting together. And maybe Byrne's handlebar caught on Langston's jersey. That's kind of what it looked like there. But the news is Grant Langston is leading here in San Francisco.
So Michael Byrne goes from 2nd place, and he has dropped all the way back to about 16th position. Unfortunate for Michael Byrne as we take a look at a Butterfinger replay. First off at the Holeshot.
Well, you definitely saw a couple of bikes get good starts, and Langston was up in there right out of the middle. Craig Anderson across the line first.
And here's the takedown. I don't want to call it takedown, but just look at that. He just put the tough block.
Tough break for Michael Byrne. The learning curves continue here in the 250s, and Grant Langston, the 125 Outdoor National Champion last year, leading right now, and he's got the experience, but let's also give a shout out to Robbie Reynard running in 2nd place.
We'll set the table one more time for you. It is Grant Langston out in front, number 8 from South Africa, on board the KTM. Robbie Reynard, number 17, sits in 2nd. And here comes Chad Reed, number 22. He'll launch the triple. Reynard takes a look over to his left, and Chad Reed has the line.
And Robbie doesn't just give it up, but Chad's so smart how it works the corner, goes kind of the outside.
Kevin Windham goes down.
Oh, big news here. Kevin Windham having some bad luck in the whoops, and he's actually tangled up near the face of that triple. He needs to get back on the track. The bad news for him is that Chad Reed is in second place as he continues to go backwards. Windham basically all the way to the back of the pack after winning last week. He had the fastest lap time in a heat race, so he can work to move up, but he has a lot of traffic. 19 motorcycles in front of him, now 18.
Grant Langston continues to lead. We've seen several lead changes this year. We've seen several different leaders. Grant Langston, the South African, doing battle now with the Australian Chad Reed. Look at the drive Reed has to the whoop section.
Reed trying to blast him in the whoops. Langston goes to the outside and takes the line and then misshifts. Not able to keep the forward momentum going. Chad Reed is in front and blitzing the whoops.
Did you see the exit speed of Chad Reed? He stopped on a dime and just blew right out of that corner.
This isn't a total runaway just yet. Let's also talk about Mike LaRocco moving up through the pack as well.
Well, let's go back and see what happened to Kevin Windham. Watch him to the inside on the whoop section.
Just going really fast. There's a lot of room to go into those whoops. It looks like he gets going really fast and can't keep on top of the whoops, drops down, and then the pass. Looks like Langston goes to the outside to try to block and then just missed the shift or just misclutches the bike, and Reedy goes right on by.
So Chad Reed, your new leader, out in front with a time of 47.2 in a lap time, and that is extremely fast. Kevin Windham is way in the back, trying to work his way up, but Chad Reed has got this track mastered. We saw him earlier in heat races, and Cameron, he looks extremely fast.
He just looks perfect right now. A little bit short bouncing off there, but he's looking smooth.
So Chad Reed continues to lead here at SBC Park in San Francisco. This is the 250 main event. Reed's on top, followed by Langston, LaRocco, and Robbie Reynard. We'll be back, ESPN2, in a moment. Welcome back to San Francisco and SBC Park. This is the battle for second place. Number 8 on board the KTM, that's Grant Langston from South Africa. And right behind him, Mike LaRocco. We saw him tangle with Tyler Evans earlier in the night. Evans is nowhere to be seen right now, but Langston and LaRocco getting ready to have an epic battle as we approach the halfway point.
I was talking to Grant Langston last week, and he was telling me how much he likes his motorcycle. They've really been doing some shock work, feels comfortable on the bike, and that's one thing he really needed to get comfortable moving into the 250 class after the Outdoor Nationals and the 125s. But we got to watch LaRocco, The Rock. The guy is a KG veteran, and he knows how to keep it going and really get going. And comes another Yamaha into the picture here, Todd.
A lot of key players coming through here. This time it's number 12, the Cobra, David Vuillemin, being coached by former champion David Bailey. Vuillemin on the drive. His next subject will be Robbie Reynard, and Reynard is no easy task to pass here in San Francisco. Second fastest practice time, and he is showing it here in the main event.
The question here is going to be fitness and training. Robbie was hurt last year, and when you get going into the main event, you've already raced through the day or through the evening in a couple races. Get here 10 laps in just about, you start to run out of gas with your body. And you know, David Vuillemin has really been training. You talked about David Bailey doing his training, and Bailey just awesome, knows what to work with. And right now, Mike LaRocco making some moves of his own.
Mike LaRocco closing in on Grant Langston. Unfortunately, that is just second place. The man out front, number 22, Chad Reed, on board the Yamaha. Langston sits in second. Mike LaRocco sits in third, and David Vuillemin has moved up to fourth place.
LaRocco carrying a little bit more speed to those whoops. We'll see if he can do it again and maybe get a shot here. Langston squaring that berm. LaRocco not able to get a run to show him a tire, but let's watch for it in the coming laps. That first whoop section, it looks like LaRocco's got just a little bit more drive coming out the end.
As LaRocco and Langston continue to tangle, Chad Reed continues to put in fast laps. His last lap time, an amazing 46.3 seconds. Cameron, that is a second faster than everyone else, and it doesn't take an abacus to figure out. You do that for 10 more laps, and he is going to absolutely obliterate this field.
Here's that whoop section. Let's see what happens. LaRocco coming into it fast, but Grant keeping great speed. It almost looked like Grant was moving around just a little bit.
Right now, let's send it down to the track, and Jamie.
Grant Langston's mechanic Oscar Wordman just put out the board and said, breathe, look ahead, and stay focused.
All right, thank you, Jamie. So the Zulu Warrior continues to run with Mike LaRocco right behind him, and they try to find a way to match the speed of Chad Reed, who is out in front. Reed, who suffered his loss last week at Anaheim 3, and everyone thought Kevin Windham had the momentum. Kevin Windham went down just 3 laps to go through the whoop section. Michael Byrne went down. So it has been a battle of attrition, but Chad Reed always seems to come out smelling like a rose.
And Langston getting a little squirrely landing that triple. You saw the leg come up, giving LaRocco a little bit of hope, but these two riders working together, racing each other, is opening up doors for David Vuillemin, who is now not just in the picture, but he is part of the picture.
David Vuillemin just grabbing a piece of that rut right there and just slingshotting through. Grant Langston goes to the inside. Here comes Mike LaRocco to the out, and David Vuillemin drops down the center of the whoop section.
Oh, and Vuillemin having to pull up. Well, what happened is he had to pull up just a little bit because he was carrying more momentum than LaRocco right there, and he didn't want to tangle into his back wheel, especially because he was kind of going across the back wheel. He would have possibly high-sided off the bike, so the smart move to grab onto the binders. He goes off the course a little bit. It's going to take a little bit more work to get up with these guys. So Langston and LaRocco getting a bit of a breather.
Momentarily, Robbie Reynard passed him back for 4th position, and it didn't take long for David Vuillemin to move ahead of Reynard, so he has to start it all over again. As we look at it one more time, Cameron, you pointed this out. Here's Vuillemin in the center of your screen, the 12 Yamaha.
LaRocco just kind of had to pull up, and actually looked like the space might have been clear if he would have held it on, but playing it safe, Vuillemin, and you see the flagger like, whoa, there's a dirt bike behind me.
So back to racing action we go. This is the 250 main event from San Francisco, California, and we check in with Jamie Little one more time.
All right, you guys, Kevin Windham, he's gone from 20th up to 12th right now. We're on lap 13. Let's see how far he can get.
Chad Reed continues to lead. The young man from Australia who has looked so good, even when he's having bad nights. Reed has just been phenomenal. Cameron, we watch him in practice. Here's a guy who, even in practice, he lands everything cleanly. He doesn't scrub speed. He doesn't have to on the down. When he drops in on the triples, he just hits it perfectly.
We talk about him being a technician. He wants a more difficult course, and the more difficult, the better. Tonight's course has some difficult whoops because they're cupping. There's a lot of work to be done there, and Chad's just been perfect at all times. All of his lines are perfect. Just watch him ride the motorcycle. He doesn't make mistakes. And if he does, he sure covers them up, because I don't see any.
Well, if you want to learn how to ride, kids, and you're watching this at home, watch number 22, Chad Reed. As Cameron pointed out, he is near perfect on the track. As we slide back to the action, there you see the gap opening up. Mike LaRocco now sitting in 2nd place, and David Vuillemin is moving up. LaRocco getting a little squirrely there on the landing. So it is Reed out in front, LaRocco in 2nd. David Vuillemin now in a podium position on 3rd, and Grant Langston dropping back to 4th. From San Francisco, California, it's a 250 main event, and what a night it has been for Chad Reed. Did not get the whole shot, has not been the cleanest night, but as Cameron pointed out, if he has a mistake, he sure is good at covering them up. We're going to step aside, take a break. There is your TISO running order. When we come back, more of the 250 main.
Carmichael versus Windham. 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. Honda versus Honda. This season, the battle for the motocross title was all about performance. And in the end, there were 2 winners. Kevin Windham and the CRF 450R, first of the 4-strokes, 2nd overall. And Ricky Carmichael and the Honda CR250R, back-to-back motocross champions. The battle is over. The winner is Honda.
Welcome back to San Francisco. This is the 250 main event. We are nearing the halfway point, or past the halfway point, excuse me. And it is David Vuillemin now closing in on Mike LaRocco with just 5 laps to go. Mike LaRocco's got his hands full. I know he was trying to think about the man out in front, Chad Reed, who is our current leader, but LaRocco trying to hold on to 2nd place. And this is exactly where David Bailey wants his rider. In contention with 5 laps to go. He feels that his fitness is strong enough to make a run, and here's the run.
LaRocco coming with the 3rd place last week. The bad news for him is Vuillemin is turning lap times down. in the 46 area, so actually down in the 46, and only he and Chad Reed are doing that, but not able to find a line around LaRocco. You got to remember, LaRocco's been around a long time, and fitness, you talk about David Vuillemin's fitness, well, Mike LaRocco is no slouch when it comes to heading to the gym.
No question about that. Mike LaRocco, number 5, out of Indiana, riding the Honda right now and riding it very well. Both men on the 2-strokes, and it's a lot of the subject has been 2-stroke, 4-stroke, but right now, Cameron, all top 3 bikes are 2-stroke runners.
It's kind of interesting, too, with some of the slippery surface that we have here. You would have thought maybe with 4 strokes would have had a better time, but actually the lap time for Kevin Windham in his heat race was the best we've seen of the night so far. Chad Reed getting close to it here in the main event, but right now Windham circling back there around 9th place. This is the story, though. Vuillemin needs to find a way to make up just a little bit more time in one of these sections. I actually think Vuillemin's given up just a little bit at the end of the whoops. It almost looks like he's using the end of the whoops to slow down for the corner and go to the inside. Last time we saw him slide out a little bit.
So Vuillemin and LaRocco continue to tangle for 2nd place. Meanwhile, your leader, number 22, Chad Reed, in at last check, he was about 6.5 seconds out in front, and that is a near eternity. But Chad Reed has a slight bubble as he entered that first corner, so he has now dropped his lead down to just about 4 seconds.
Interesting tactic there, too. Vuillemin timing the whoops instead of skimming them, and he's got the line on LaRocco, but now LaRocco coming to the inside. We'll see if he can stick the wheel back in there. He's got a smoother line to the inside. There's not as many whoops. You see Vuillemin hitting the whoops and hitting the bales.
David Vuillemin using every inch of the track tonight here in San Francisco. Gets past Mike LaRocco for the Yamahas, going 1 and 2. Mike LaRocco flying the flag for Honda, sitting in 3rd. Vuillemin having some vision problems there. Has to go to a tearaway. LaRocco cannot take advantage of it.
What's really key for David Vuillemin here is he's trailing Kevin Windham by just 4 points. Reed's leading the series right now, but this is going to help Vuillemin make a move up towards the front, maybe get up there and catch up with Windham, who's now moved into 7th place.
Well, Kevin Windham has got a big week on hand. We saw him. He was in 4th position, went down. He is now, as Cameron pointed out, up in 7th place. He'll be traveling to Ohio this week to appeal his 10-point suspension that was taken away from him. Hopefully he'll get those points back, and he's going to need them tonight.
He's still looking good. You see him slowing down at the end of the whoops using that inside line, but it doesn't look like it's really slowed him up considerably. He's doing his best lap time of 47.30, so not bad.
So with just over a lap to go, we check in with our leader, number 22, Chad Reed. He has been very smooth tonight, only making just a few minor mistakes. But Chad Reed has been extremely fortunate in that when he has made mistakes, Cameron, as you pointed out, he has covered them up well. And the white flag is out for Chad Reed. The Australian brings it around one more time. He has got about a 4-second lead over his nearest rivals. David Vuillemin at 2nd, Mike LaRocco in 3rd.
I don't know how Chad really is about streaks. You're going to have to ask him about this black helmet, but I suspect we may be seeing him in it again next week.
Next week, we move on to Houston, Texas, and Texas has always been very good to Chad Reed. We'll see if that streak continues. Yeah, running the new helmet tonight and having a lot of fun out there. The folks in San Francisco really appreciate this young man. The way he rides, he takes a look over his shoulder. He sees nothing but blue, and I don't know if Vuillemin's going to have enough time to track him down. It is Chad Reed. Will he start a new streak in the 250 class? I don't know about that, but I do know one thing. Chad Reed will pick up a victory tonight. Your winner, 250 main event, Chad Reed. Vuillemin will claim 2nd, and what a night it has been for the young Australian. We'll be back and talk to him after this.
It's Suzuki Fest 2004. Visit your Suzuki dealer to get some...
And welcome back to San Francisco's SBC Park. What a great 250 main we are just treated to. Once again, it's Chad Reed. Right now, let's check in with Jamie Little, who's standing by with our 3rd place finisher.
Mike, you turned what started out to be a very frustrating night for you into, well, you're making it a weekly thing now if you're on the podium.
Well, it kind of went backwards. I got the good start, and I ended up letting these guys go by me. So I was just trying to get my groove on, and next thing I know, it was a white flag, and I was too late again. But you know, it starts to help, and it's good to be up here in my AMA Chaparral Honda. It worked really good for me. I just rode tight, and you know, I gave it away.
A lot of lappers in the way there, guys.
All right, thank you, Jamie. As we take a look at the Honda 250 main event results, it is Chad Reed picking up the victory, David Vuillemin second, Mike LaRocco on the podium in third, then Grant Langston and Nick Way. Sean Hamlin with a great finish in sixth. Kevin Windham goes all the way up to 7th place, and Ryan Clark, our helmet cam, finish in 11th. Right now, let's set it back down to the track, and Jamie.
David, hard charge there at the end. I know it looked like you were gaining on Chad. Do you think if you had a couple more laps, you could have possibly diced it up and maybe taken the win?
You know, I think Chad rode his race like kind of safe. You know, he took off at the beginning, and you know, I closed on him because you know Mike was behind me, so I had to charge the whole time, and you know Chad was kind of slow the last 2 laps, running safe, so I caught him a little bit. But you know, it's good to get second and close to Chad like that, and you know, maybe I'm gonna have a chance next week.
All right, thank you, Jamie. It all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada, the official destination of Supercross. On the AMA side, it is Chad Reed out in front. David Vuillemin has now moved into 2nd place, and Kevin Windham, by virtue of that disappointing finish, now sits in 3rd. On the THQ World Supercross GP point standings, Grant Langston has now moved into 1st. Damon Huffman slides back to 2nd, and that is definitely a race we will be watching. Right now, let's send it back down to the track one more time. Jamie Little, who's with our winner.
Todd, Chad Reed returns to his winning ways, extending his points lead even more. Chad, you rode great tonight, but you seem to be a little more cautious, really smart, little patient.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the track would really catch you off, and just had to make my, you know, my timing coming through the pack, you know, easy, and just, you know, go one by one and be careful. And, you know, I pulled a little lead and just watched those guys and used the 20 laps to, you know, to my advantage. And, you know, I want to thank all the guys at Yamaha for, you know, having a great bike running great, and all the guys at Thor Parts Limited. And, you know, it's great for the title. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, be consistent and click off the race win.
Wow, guys, Kevin Windham gets out of that mix, and it's dangerous. This guy gets set free, and he's gone.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Congratulations to Chad Reed as he picks up a well-earned victory. Our next show coming to you on February 15th at 5 o'clock. It's the 125 show, and then at 6 o'clock Eastern, it's the 250 show. So on behalf of Jamie Little and Cameron Steele and this young man, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from SBC Park in San Francisco, California. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from San Francisco, your winner, Chad Reed.